Bro. Let's do it. Happy Monday, everybody. It's a new day, new blessings, new opportunities available. How we feeling? Give me a scale of 1 to 10. I need to see the screen here. I'm going to scroll through real quick. Scale 1 to 10. Show me. All right. Okay. I feel you. Hey, today is
Five
very
fucking
special.
coffee.
We got to get the mute hammer going. Today's very special. I get to introduce my wife, Kate. A lot of folks think that I started our life insurance business. Kate actually started it. She dove in the field about 4 months before I did. Even though I was licensed a year before her, I did nothing with it. And it took her going first to kind of show me the way. After a couple months, I was like, this thing is pretty cool. I keep seeing deposits in our bank account and I want in on this. So, anyways, I'm excited to introduce Kate. She's the backbone of our agency right now and holding down recruiting and just so many different things for us. But she was a beast producer, guys. Her best month, 31,000, right under 31,000, but had multiple 25, 26, 27K months and showed me what was possible here. And she was the reason why I started triple dialing because that was scary for me at first. So I came in her room one day and I was like, why are you setting more appointments than I am? And she's like, because you're not triple dialing, dude. Come on, get with it. So I'm so excited to hear from her today. I'll mute out, let the smart one talk. That's what I learned. Kate, I'll pass it over to you.
Thanks, babe. Guys, we switched roles this morning, and I could see Scott was feeling a little bit of the overstimulation that us moms talk about. So it's nice. The house is quiet. Scott's taking Liam to play school. No, I'm kidding. We are a two-man team here, and it's beautiful the balance that we have. So, all right. If you guys do not know who I am Kate Schnitzer, and I'm married to that handsome fellow with the beard. This still feels weird coming out of my mouth, so it's going to sound wonky. We are direct to Symmetry 130s by way of Danny Young and Ashley Tarr. Very, very grateful to be so. Very cool to say that. I think we anticipated that for a long time, so really cool. Guys, about a year ago, it was actually November 2024, I hosted this call. I hosted the accountability call, and I talked about seasons of sacrifice. At that time, I was 6 months pregnant with our daughter. We had just previously moved back to Buffalo a little bit before that. And there were only about like 80 to 100 people on this call. Now we're at 360 right now. We often get up to 500. So I want to do a little bit of a seasons of sacrifice round two, if you will. A lot has changed and things have changed through our seasons. And I kind of want to show you guys a little bit of what that has looked like. So, quick story, very 10,000 foot view. For those of you that don't know our story, like Scott said, I started a little bit before him, but Scott had always been watching Symmetry and kind of just had it on the back of his mind just in case. Um, but our story is different than a lot of them that you hear. We didn't come here with a little to no income story. We didn't have like a broken in need to being healed through this opportunity story. And those stories are great. There are a lot of redemptive stories among Symmetry, but I think it's important for those of us that came here without that to share that this is not the only way to come here broken, whether it be financially, physically, mentally, whatever, and then this is the ticket. That wasn't it for us, and I think it's important to share that. Just because not every story looks like that. So prior to this, I was working for the Buffalo Bills. Put a one in the chat if you watched the Bills game last night. Jim, I trust last night's game is the ticket to get you here for the 28th Eagle game. Just saying, guys, I got 4 free tickets, and it's like pulling teeth to get Jim and Sonia to come into Buffalo for it, but we'll see. No peer pressure, I think, is a wonderful thing. But last night, if you guys did not see the game, go to my Instagram. I shared the highlights. It was incredible. So I was working for the Buffalo Bills, born and raised in Buffalo. My heart is in Buffalo. I loved being a part of helping local businesses grow. I was making great money. I was making 95 grand a year. It was good for 25 years old. Scott was working at the dealership with his dad, part owner, sales manager, incredible salesman, making great money, $35,000 a month he was bringing home. Um, he was in Louisiana, I was in Buffalo. We met on TikTok, very long story short, fell in love, got engaged super fast, got married a year to the day for meeting. On our honeymoon, we decided we were quitting our jobs and going all in on Symmetry. So we came back. I gave my 2 week notice, not exactly the like start your life together. As soon as you get married, our parents envisioned. We had a lot of pushback, a lot, a lot, a lot. But we knew, like we knew in our bones that this was the right opportunity. So we got back. I started studying. I got on every single call I could just to be ingrained in the culture. I started studying. Guys, it took me 5 times to pass the test. So, a little plug here that if you are studying or you are new, how many times you take the test and the score you get does not determine your success here. I was absolutely mortified. I told Scott, don't tell anybody. I couldn't believe I couldn't pass this test. I have a master's degree. What are you talking about? I can't pass this stupid life insurance test. But then a friend within the business told me that Casey Watkins didn't pass until his 5th try. So I'm like, all right, he's doing well. I should go one more. Went one more and I passed. So I dove in about 4 or 5 months before Scott did. And it was my job to figure out producing, to see, is this really like what we think it is? We think it is, but Scott couldn't leave at the time. His dad was sick. He had to run the dealership, all these things. So I dove in, and then a few months later, we decided it was time for Scott to join me. And when we decided that we were going to join, he was going to join me and do this together, go all in, no backup plan, it was like, all right, this is major sacrifice. So we walked away from my, call it $100,000 a year. We were making the decision to walk away from Scott's $30,000 months. That's a big deal. So we knew we were going to take 100 steps back in order to take 1,000 steps forward over the next few years. Guys, we're 4 years in now, and let me tell you, hindsight's a beautiful thing. That is exactly what has happened. That is exactly what has happened for us. So we took a handful of steps back. We had a bunch of toys. Scott was a big toy guy before we met. He had side by sides, two motorcycles, a bunch of other things. We had 2 rental income properties. We sold it all. We said, all right, we're going all in on this. We're selling everything. We need capital to start this business. We also knew we needed capital to eventually move back to Buffalo and start a family. So after a lot of prayer and discussion, we said, okay, we can do this. This is what it looks like. And if we're ever going to do it, it was now at the time before we had kids. So enter in our first season of sacrifice. We sold everything that I just told you about, but it didn't stop there. We made an effort to really stop going out to eat. I stopped getting my nails done. Scott stopped buying hats and sneakers. We joke about that guy, but my man loves sneakers and hats and clothes. And we even drained my 401k. We paid off high interest debt first, and then we carried all our low interest debt to the top. You know why? Because Jacob Pogue told us to. Jacob Pogue said, take your debt to the top, take your debt to the top, take your debt to the top. Go all in on figuring out production, take your debt with you, you will figure it out. So we took our debt with us. We paid off the super high interest stuff and then brought our student loans and lower interest stuff with us to the top. Ashley Tarr told us to spend $500 a month, or excuse me, a week on leads for each of us. So we spent $1,000 a week as a family on leads. She told us to, so we did. We invested in Finney training, we went to boot camps, and then everything kind of started to feel like it was falling into place. We were competing for leaderboards. Like, it was so fun. If you have a competitive nature, this is the business for you. We hit AO within 7 months. We started seeing that this was really possible. We started seeing the money flow. It was awesome. We hit AO. We got invited to AO Academy. Financially, though, this didn't seem wise. It was like, all right, Ashley wants us to spend $1,000, call it $4,000 or $5,000 a month on leads. We have to do that in order to grow our business and be relatable and show our team what's possible because Ashley said so. So we got to trust her and we got to do this. So it was a real mental game of, do we stop this lead order for $1,000 a month, $1,000 a week, excuse me, and go to AOA? Like, it just didn't feel financially responsible. Ashley told us to, so we went. I don't know if you're noticing a theme yet here. Listen to your leaders, trust your leaders. They know what they're talking about, guys. If they're telling you something, it's likely because of a mistake they made and they're trying to help you not make that mistake and maybe do it a step or two quicker than they did. If you are approaching Key Leader or AOA, do not skip Key Leader Academy. It's virtual now, so block everything off. Do not multitask. It is incredible, guys. AOA, same thing. Go, 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 go. Put it on the credit card, borrow it, do what you need to do. We talk a lot about system here. Symmetry system is way more than levels of leadership and promotion guidelines. Symmetry knows exactly what you need when you need it. The conversations that Scott and I were having, all of those were answered at the exact time we were talking about them through Key Leader Academy and then through AOA. So go all in on the system. Trust it, guys. It's business in a box. Follow the yellow brick road. You will find success. I promise. I promise. When you try to create your own yellow brick road, it doesn't work. Stay on the Symmetry yellow brick road. All right. So we kept on keeping on. We kind of felt like, all right, we hit AO, we got this. Let's start celebrating nails, hats, travel. Let's do the things. Well, we started celebrating and kind of started slacking within the business. So we got back in check and entering another season of sacrifice. So a lot of you probably already knew that part of the story. But since then, we've moved back to Buffalo. We've been here 2.5 years now. Our seasons have changed. Our seasons have changed quite a bit. We've had two kids. We have a 2-year-old and a almost 8-month-old. We hit 130. We paid off a boatload of debt. If you have not started a debt-free life program yet, get with your SME. Scott, I don't know why we didn't do it 4 years ago. Like, absolutely foolish. We probably would have been out of our student loan debt by now. We have 4 degrees among both of us that we're not using. So, and then the most exciting of all, we hit our highest month of deposits yet, $46,000, guys. Super, super cool. And guess what? Nothing is changing for us. We are in the very first home I ever bought. It's 1,000 square feet. It's a 3 bedroom, 1 bath. We have two very large dogs that are just like the final straw in overstimulation day to day. And we have two kids, and one of our bedrooms is Scott's office. So nothing's changing. And you know why? Because our business is not done growing yet. Just because we hit AO did not mean we were done. Just because we hit 130 does not mean we're done. Our business is not done growing and we have work to do. And for that, we need continued sacrifice. So while we could probably afford a bigger mortgage, why would we? Our mortgage is $1,200 right now. Why would we ever pass that up if we still have work to do within our business? So instead, what we have been able to do because of the business being so profitable, notice how I said because of the business being so profitable, not Scott and I. Scott and I pay ourselves $10,000 a month and that's it. But the business is more profitable than Scott and I. Two different mindsets. Because the business has become so profitable, we've been able to give both of our employees a raise and bonuses. We've been able to bless our team with a boatload of Starbucks and random trophies and gifts and random things and travel and all this fun stuff that we have coming into 2026 for our team. That's coming from the business profit. So we got to sacrifice a little bit longer until we're out of our debt and until our business is where we want it to be. But what's different, guys, about the season that the seasons that I told you when I first started and the seasons now is we had different goals. When Scott and I first started, we didn't really like, we knew this business was going to be something, but we didn't like really know how to verbalize it. Now we know we are on a mission to have 100 AOs in the next 5 years. For that, we need to continually sacrifice in order to give our team what they need to grow. That's time, that's resources, that's an abundance of things. But again, the difference in what I told you about the seasons when we first started at the start of the story versus now is now we are in a season of choice. The choices within the seasons. Some seasons you're deployed, you're all in, you have no choice, and you have to choose seasons at that time. You must operate as such in order to get to the next season. Other seasons you can relax a bit because of the choices you made in previous seasons. Guys, do you realize what a luxury this business is? If you do not, please check in and hear me right now. If you do not realize the luxury of this business, I need you to go back to our 4 cornerstones. I need you to get on the national calls. I need you to talk to a leader or somebody that has what you want. And I need you to see tangibly what is possible here. What a luxury that as a new agent to the AO season, you have the choice and the full access to make as much money as you want without anybody stopping you. Corporate America, guess what? They told me I could make a certain amount, but I couldn't really. They capped me, they changed it. Scott had it worse than me. Scott was making more than the owner paid himself, so he came in and changed the comp plan so that he didn't have to pay Scott as much. Nobody's doing that here. Our founders, your agency owner, nobody's doing that to you here. You can make as much as you want. Tough love, if you're not making what you want, that is on you. That is 110% on you. The system, the resources, the leads, everything is provided for you. So if you're not making what you want, you are not making the choice in this season of AO, or excuse me, new agent to AO. What a luxury that you can work from a place. Hi, Liam. What a luxury that you can work from a place of not needing your production anymore. We are proof, guys. Scott and I are proof. In 4 short years, we went from each producing $15,000 to $30,000 a month to 0. Scott went on a little rip like 2 months ago, just to be like, I want to show everybody I still got it. And he did $38,000 in 14 days. But what a luxury that he put himself in a season to figure it out and he sacrificed to figure it out that, hey, if our agency crumbled, Scott can still produce to bring us in an income. What a luxury. What a business that we get to be a part of. Little plug here for Jim's 4-part series. Jim, if you can find that link and drop it for me. Jim does a beautiful job of explaining the 4, I'm going to call them seasons just given our conversation, the 4 seasons that you go through here in Symmetry and how they are sequential. You need to master season 1 before you can go on to the other 3 that Jim talks about. Some seasons, guys, you're reading books about sales and listening to life insurance podcasts, or no podcasts at all because you are all in on the LMS on HQ, or you're all in on your agency's resource library and videos. Other seasons, you're learning about how to lead better because you figured out production, you're building your team, and now you got to figure out how to lead your people better. Then your seasons shift again. And you've grown your business to a point where you can listen to parenting podcasts and you can focus on your mom season and check into the business during nap time and during play school time. Or like Scott, you're able to give more to your ministry and your family and coaching the wrestling team than you do to your business because of the seasons of sacrifice that you put in before. This business is a ginormous luxury and it truly allows you to make whatever you want to make whenever you want to make it. I want to paint a picture for you guys real quickly about what our life right now would look like without this business. Scott would be gone already. He'd probably be at the dealership for 2 to 3 hours by now. My mom or a paid nanny or babysitter would be taking Liam to play school, or I'd be dropping him off at daycare and I'd be at the office, and that's people's reality still. So some of you might be new or part-time and that's your reality, but I want to prove to you right now by sharing our story that it does not have to be. It does not have to be. So your current season may not look like ours yet. And ours does not look like Jim's. Our season does not look like Sarah Reineke's or Danny's or Jacob Pogue's, but it will. It may look similar or it may look different. But this season that Scott and I are in, it will end and a new one will begin. So you may be in your deployed season right now, your season of sacrifice. If you are in a season of sacrifice, a season where you're giving it your all, keep going. I know it feels like I am so burnt out. I cannot do this one more day. I can't. I promise you that season will end. It will end and you will look back in hindsight like we do and say, thank God I did that. Thank God we did that. You are not far from your season of choice if you just keep on keeping on. If you are not in a season of sacrifice, should you be? And have you earned your season of choice yet? That's all I got.
Okay, I hope you looked over at the comments. There's one
No, I
comment
was
in
avoiding
there
them.
that was like, this is gonna be the best "that's all I got" ever in the history of this call. Man, so much good stuff in there. And I love your story of the steps back to take steps forward. If people really, we got 454 people on this call, if every single one of you actually saw the potential, and not just the potential, because I can get on here and talk about what it's done for me. Kate can get on here and talk about what it's done for them. Sarah can get on here and talk about, but like, if you didn't just see the potential, but you believed that potential was possible for you, there wouldn't be a limit to what you'd be willing to sacrifice. When I look at where we are now, and I thought 3, 4, 5 years ago, I was scared to let go of what I had because I was unsure that what I had the potential for could really happen. And so I'm spending more time clinging to what I have than letting it go to put me in a position to pursue potential. That's where I watch 90% of the freaking field fail. You're scared to sacrifice for leads. You're scared to sacrifice family time for dials. You're scared. You're clinging so hard to the life you have, which is, ironically, the life you don't want. And you're refusing to make sacrifices for the life that you actually saw. You could go make 30 grand this month, not down the road, not when it finally lands for you, not when you could go make 30 grand this month. Like, do you hear me? Do you actually, like, if you truly believed that, what would you go do to make that happen?
Oh,
And
but
this
Jim,
is
it's
the
Christmas. There's
disconnect.
no way we can.
I know, Kate, it's Christmas and there's parties and there's this and there's that. And guess what? There's going to be those things in January and February and a year from now and 3 years from now. And you'll excuse yourself for not living up to your potential day in and day out until your business hasn't grown and you're in the same place you were while watching the potential all around you never get
It's
realized
chilly.
in your
I
own
forgot how it
life.
was this cold out here.
I don't know, man. I'm really grateful that you and Scott made the sacrifices that you did. I know you guys are grateful for that. And I'll
Oh,
tell
yeah.
you what gets fun too is I love how much we've connected, Kate and Scott, personally, and professionally in this business. But so much of that connection was based on the eye to eye mutual respect of seeing somebody that knew what sacrifice looked like, that knew what pursuing potential looked like. I could look at what I was fighting against and look over and see you guys were fighting too. And so, like, okay, cool, let's go do it. I found some people I can do this thing with. And that's going to be the power of you sacrificing, is you're going to find people that are fighting the same battle you're fighting. And that's where you come up with your people that you run with. So freaking good, man. Kate, this was really fun to hear from you. And I hope that Scott will take the kids more often in the morning so we can hear a little more. we can hear from you a little more often.
You heard him, babe.
All right. I love you guys. I'm going to stop recording, open up breakout rooms. We'll have some fun.